Hey guys, Austin here, and welcome to the day after the Oilers 6-5 overtime loss to the Boston Bruins. Now, for those of you who are new or maybe unfamiliar, the day after is a segment where I just kind of sit down, have a formal discussion in front of the camera about the previous night's game. I answer questions, I bring up talking points that I didn't elaborate on during the post-game recap. And yeah, that's pretty much how these things roll. They're very chill. You can grab some coffee. You can just kind of have the video on in the background if you want. If you guys like these videos, make sure you hit like, and if you really like it, make sure you hit subscribe. We are building a great channel here in 2024, and I also have an announcement to make near the end of the video, so please stick around for that. I'm very excited to announce that. But first things first, our talking points today are going to be second period struggles, and then we're going to have Chris Knobloch being outcoached by Jim Montgomery. Our third talking point is Stuart Skinner's post All-Star break regression. Fourth talking point will be highly entertaining but exhausting of a game. The fifth talking point will be about a couple players, Fogle, top line, Kane, Connor Brown. And then that'll pretty much be it. I'll do my outro after. So the first talking point I wanted to get into was the second period struggles. Boston just blew the doors off of Edmonton's house in the second period. They got out to a 4-1 lead after a 1-1 first period. But when I was looking at like the deeper analytics here, Edmonton actually didn't play a bad second period. Now, I have numbers on Natural Stat Trick. The high danger chances for were 7-1 in favor of Edmonton. The shots for were 8-7 in favor of the Oilers, but the Oilers had 28 shot attempts and 10 shot attempts against, which means Boston, they were opportunistic and Skinner struggled. The Marchand goal, yikes. Like 25 seconds into the period, Skinner's got to save that. That's not a good goal to give up. And then you had the tip goal. That's hard to stop for any goalie. But in terms of the actual like generating play, the Oilers played a good second period. They had a 73% Corsi for percentage, 65% Fenwick for percentage. Their scoring chances for percentage was 77% in the second period. The team's expected goals in the second period was 69%. Very nice. I guess the numbers and the eye tests were very interesting to me. Obviously, Edmonton really pushed in the last 5 minutes of that second period. They had that extended like 3-minute shift where Boston couldn't get out of their zone, and Edmonton rolled two lines out, forced Boston to ice it, had numerous chances in front of the net. But when it comes to giving up goals, though, Edmonton continues to bleed goals against in the second period. Their goal differential is so bad in the second period since the All-Star break. It is just putrid. They've been outscored 16-5 in their last 3 games in the second period, and that is not a recipe for success. However, looking at the deeper analytics, if the team continues to generate the numbers that they did last night against Boston, they just need a save. And that's going to be on Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard because the goals will come if the team plays like that every second period. Because looking at the third period, Edmonton fought back. They tied at 4-4, and then Pasternak makes it 5-4, and then Edmonton ties at 5-5, and it was just a wild third period. But same thing in the third. Edmonton's Corsi for in the third was 63%. Fenwick for was 63%. Shots for percentage was 64%. Scoring chances for was 65% in favor of the Oilers, and the Edmonton's expected goals for in the third period was 75%. So yeah, it was safe to say Edmonton pretty much dominated the whole game other than the first period. Boston dominated the first period. Edmonton was outshot in the first. They were outchanced in the first. The expected goals for after one, according to Natural Stat Trick, were 2.02 to 0.8 in favor of Boston. So Skinner held the fort down from the first period. And then after that, he kind of I don't know what happened to Stuart Skinner. You'd like some saves, honestly, in a game where Edmonton did, at least looking at the numbers, play as well as they did. Now, when saying that, I did want to talk about Chris Knobloch and his line matching or his lack of line matching. So, on home ice, you get last change. Chris Knobloch, head coach of the Oilers, you get last change. You get to make sure that the guys that you want on the ice are going up against the guys that you want to make sure you're defending. You want to make sure that you have a hard match against the David Pasternak line. Well, when I'm looking at who he had up against the Pasternak line, CC and Nurse each played 7 minutes and 20 seconds against the Pasternak line. And then Ekholm and Bouchard each played 8.5 and 9 minutes each against the Pasternak line, which means Knobloch was kind of just rolling both of them out. But here's the kicker, and here's why Knobloch should not have been doing that. He should have just been rolling Ekholm and Bouchard out against that line every time and not kind of going halvesies with Nurse and Ceci, because with Bouchard and Ekholm on the ice against Pasternak, their shot generation together was outrageously good. Corsi for percentage was 62.96% in favor of the Oilers when Bouchard and Ekholm were on the ice. When Ceci and Nurse were on the ice against the Pasternak line, their Corsi for percentage was 17.95%. Horrible. They were getting caved in. Nurse Ceci were getting absolutely caved in all night whenever Pasternak went out against them. Third period, you had that shift where Evander Kane just kind of threw the puck away twice, didn't get the puck out of the zone, and then Pasternak made it 5-4 Boston, forcing Edmonton to have to come back and tie the game again. It's plays like that, and it's I just don't understand. If you have last change, why are we not getting the hard matchups that you should be getting against these guys? This was a problem that Jay Woodcroft had in the playoffs. He didn't line match properly against Vegas, and he was exposed heavily. Bukestad was exposed heavily by the Eichel line. Nurse Ceci, same thing. The Eichel line just absolutely dominated Edmonton in last year's playoffs. So Chris Knobloch, I think this is a learning experience for him. Make sure that you pre-scout your opponent and have your hard match set, because it was ugly. It was ugly when Nurse and Ceci were out against the Pasternak line. Next talking point here is Stuart Skinner, his post-All-Star game struggles. Do I think this is a long-term problem? No. Skinner has proven this season that he is a capable starter. However, I don't know what exactly is going on. It looks like when a goal goes by him that he thinks shouldn't go by him, you see the reaction on the ice. He reminds me of Jack Campbell. He gets really down on himself, and I wonder if that plays into it. I don't like to speculate on a player's emotional state, though. That's just not how I roll. But I am curious to know what's going on with Stuart Skinner. What do you think is happening with Stuart Skinner? Why is he struggling so much since the All-Star break? He played a very good game against Vegas coming out of the All-Star break that Edmonton ended up losing, unfortunately, to end their win streak. But do you think it's just that post-win streak lull for Stuart Skinner? Because the team in front of him generally plays very well and don't give up a whole lot of chances. And he does still make big saves here and there, but last night against Boston looked a little troubling. I see some fans being like, oh, we should have started Calvin Pickard. I don't know if Calvin Pickard would have been the right play. But then this creates another discussion and dialogue of, does Edmonton still need an upgraded net for the playoffs? That is a valid discussion to have. I have had numerous different opinions on that. If the market is there and the price point makes sense, sure, get an upgrade and have Skinner as a 1A and then someone else as a 1B. If the goalie market doesn't make sense and the pricing doesn't make sense, there's no reason to spend a whole ton of assets for a goaltender. I think Stuart Skinner can get the job done. I think he's capable. I think he's a good enough starter once the playoffs start. After last year, I think Skinner will be fine. He's a year older. I think he'll be okay. I think these tough games, they're tough games, and he's going to want a couple of those goals back. But I think in the long run, Skinner's going to be okay. In terms of the quality of the game last night, as a fan, highly entertaining, but highly exhausting. Oh my God, I slept 10 hours last night. I just want Edmonton. You know what I want Edmonton to do? I want them to get out to a 2 or 3 goal lead after the first, a 3 or 4 goal lead after the second, and then shut it down the third. And then at the end of the game, I haven't even broken a sweat. I have my post-game recap. I go to bed. I wake up after 7.5, 8 hours, and we're all good to go for the day after. Today, this day after is out way later than usual. That game was literally exhausting. I was sweating. I had to take a shower after the game last night. I'm not even kidding. It was just the back and forth action of just wild action. Would like to see the team push more before the third period. That's kind of just what I'm trying to say here. Next talking point here, Warren Fogle and the top line. So Warren Fogle, he was inserted on the top line because Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was sick. Nuge couldn't play. I thought Warren Fogle played very well. I thought Warren Fogle had a great night, and to not see him in overtime is a problem to me. Fogle had 2 goals. He has speed. He doesn't have the best hands, but he has speed. And when the power play ended, Chris Knobloch put Ryan McLeod and Evander Kane on the ice. I do not like Evander Kane out in 3-on-3. That is not a place where he should be. He doesn't have the speed. He doesn't have the passing ability. And the one thing that really bothered me in that overtime with Evander Kane was the icing call. So Nurse was able to get the puck. He rimmed it around. Now you had 3 Bruins in the Oilers zone, and you had 2 Oilers coming out of the zone. Or maybe it was McLeod that threw the puck around the boards. Either way, you had 2 Oilers in the neutral zone, and the puck was going towards Boston's end. I know it was the end of their shift, but you just need one of them. You need Evander Kane to just skate into the Bruins zone and skate to the hash marks and negate the icing and let 2 of your teammates change, come around, change on the back check, and it's fine. Evander Kane, for some reason, did not do that, just curled towards the bench and then led to the icing, didn't get possession. McAvoy scores, end of the game. And Evander Kane's... I don't know if he was trying to pull a Chris Russell, just kind of slide on the ice and hope the puck hits him. But that play when he's one-on-one with Charlie McAvoy, really bad. Not a good night for Evander Kane, in my opinion. That was a tough night for Kane. Did not like him out in the overtime. And I hope I don't see him in 3-on-3 overtime ever again, honestly. I'm just putting that out there. That might sound really harsh, but yikes. And then Connor Brown. Holy smokes. Oh my God. Every time that guy was on the ice, what are we doing? What are we doing? The team just gets caved every time he's on the ice. Not good. Not good. I just wanted to say Connor Brown because I know that he's at the point where that just riles everyone up. So that's pretty much it for me and my day after segment today. I think I talked about most of the things I wanted to talk about. You'd like to see Edmonton get the 2 points out of that game. It was a highly entertaining game as a fan. It was a frustrating game as a fan of the Oilers because that was a winnable game. And some of the mistakes that were made and some of the players that made the mistakes that led to goals against, not good. These guys have been in the league long enough. Shouldn't happen. Looking at you, Evander Kane. Sorry, man. You're the scapegoat today in today's video, but no, I'm just kidding, guys. Don't be too hard on the players, okay? Just because I'm hard on all of the players doesn't mean you guys get to be hard too. Jeez. Unreal. I'm just joking. I'm just having fun, guys. Come on. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for me. If you guys like the day after segments, please make sure you hit that like button. If you really like it, make sure you hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. I know I said I had an announcement to make. We'll wait for another video. That'll be a separate video. So you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.